Hey, welcome to Board in the House channel where I play a bunch of different board games, including this really great Gem 7 Wonders Duel. So today I want to talk about what should you study about your opponent before you duel them. So let's get into it. So here are some different things that you might consider. So before anything, look at them. Do they know how to defend or grab raw? So you look at their past games and you see if they're wary of raw, is that's a very important god, or if they just kind of let raw get taken, do they get rawed? Do they, if they have the choice of taking an Egyptian card, do they put out Anubis or Isis, or do they put out Ra for themselves? And do they make sure they have enough coins to take Ra? Things like that. Just in general, do they know how to work with Ra? Because you could take advantage of them. All these are things that you could potentially use to your favor. Next, and this is just playing with the Pantheon expansion. Wonder rushing, or are they wonder patient? So if you've got these four wonders there, are they going to build Piraeus very quickly to hope to gain some advantage there? Are they going to build the Hanging Gardens really quickly to get the 6 coins there so they can potentially buy a god? Are they going to build those military wonders, hopefully not in age 1 and give you automatic initiative, but are they going to build those military wonders early? These 4 wonders particularly, I see a lot of people messing up with and building them way too early, and then they're down 1 wonder, and they and you can take advantage of that for sure, and make it so that they if you're already down 1 wonder, you can't really do much with it. You can't hide a science card now, and if you're down 3 wonders, then your opponent could wonder rush you and then just build a bunch of wonders, and then now their final wonder is gone, and there would be a point, more likely a points win if you make somebody only have a building of 3 wonders. But really, if you're going for that general basic strategy of a science win with the Pantheon expansion, that seems to be how it is. You don't want to build those 2 you see right there, those extra turn wonders, or any of the extra turn wonders too early, because that's going to be a huge bad thing for you. Because if you are go into a fight and you got 2 arms and you purposely chop off both of your arms, and then you say, okay, I'm ready for H3 when the fight really begins. Your opponent still has their 2 arms, their 2 extra turns, and you're going into a fight without arms, and nobody wants to do that. You have to have arms when you're fighting. So next up, main win rate in their stats. If you're a member of Board Game Arena, you can check the stats of a paying member. You can check their stats. You can see which main way of winning they tend to go towards. Is it the civilian, which is going to use a lot of stone you see here? Is it going to be the science, which really doesn't use much of any resources, but mainly those gray resources and a little bit of wood? Or is it going to be the military? And then that's going to make sure you have a lot of coins for a military, and don't forget about clay. Which one do they try to go for? And if they tend to win a lot in that, then you can deny these resources here. And you can also be wary of, okay, looks like they have a 50% win rate in science. Maybe don't let them get 3 science in age 1. So next up, 4. How did they lose their last loss? Was it a science, military, civilian? Your last loss could tell a little bit about you. And why? Was it just random luck that they lost? Or like how did it happen? Were they going for a military and then they just couldn't make it happen, and so they lost with points? Or is somebody able to sneakily sneak in and beat them in military? Because that could happen again. You could take that into account when you play them. Perhaps you're both going for a science strategy and you find out that you can't win in science, so you switch to military because you've seen in the past they can lose to military, rather than switch to points and hope to duke it out there and just deny their science win. So lots of ways you can look at it, but look at their last loss and see what happened there. Next up, so how do they place the how do they place the or take the gods? Okay, so you see in here they've got these different god cards, and when they grab Zeus, say they're sitting here, do they put Zeus far away from themselves? No, I would. Do they put the allow the gate to end up a little closer to you instead of themselves? Do they value ball? I don't value ball very highly, but I also don't want ball in the game because I don't want to lose my resources because I'm not going to grab them. So my opponent's going to grab that and make me have to work around that loss of economy. Do they put gods like this one is this Poseidon close to themselves, and with that hoping to gain an advantage there and taking away your coins and making themselves less vulnerable to getting their coins taken away. Things like that. When they get an Egyptian god, do they put it close to themselves? You see, initially they're going to be hidden. And do they put the Egyptian god close to themselves? And if they do, in that game that you analyze of theirs before you play them, in that flip of H2, is that Egyptian card raw every single time? Because then you can say, okay, that's going to be raw. Or is it sometimes Anubis? I like to switch it up in my games because I want my opponent to save up those eight coins and then try to take raw from me. Maybe they use an extra turn or two to take the first player advantage, and then they find out, oh, he doesn't actually have raw there. Well, a waste of my extra turns. So yeah, so how do they place their gods really? When you look at the tokens that they have and you see where they got placed, it's a pretty simple thing to check. Next up, do they know how to use each Roman god? And Zeus, Isis, and Nisaba are also tricky ones to use, but definitely these Roman gods. So we'll go over just with Neptune in particular. So you look at Neptune, and he makes one of these just gone, and then another one is gone, and you use it. So you want to do both of those on your own side. You don't want to do the opponent's side. But some people don't understand the rules, and they think the one where you use it needs to be on your opponent's side. So they don't want to do the one on their own side because they think that they're going to lose the coins or something. No, you put them both on your own side. You break the two, and then you use the 5 on your own side. And so that way the waters are good. Neptune, I called him Poseidon, but Neptune is making the waters good for you so that your ships can get the money across in the war, and even if they get attacked, they're okay. And Minerva, you want to leave room for your opponent to push you in military enough so that you have initiative. The conflict pawn is on your side, but the Minerva pawn is not letting them go any further. And then Mars, once you have 9 more shields than the opponent, you win the game. That's the math. Okay, so 9 more shields than your opponent. So how you get to those 9 shields is up to you, but it's a 4 shield swing if somebody takes Mars when the other person would have taken Mars, and so that's almost half of the shields that you would need to push out. Am I thinking of that right? I think so. So Mars just being introduced in the game, one card can really seal the deal in a military win. So you need to be wary of that. And if you see that 4 points or 4 shield swing where you're, oh, I was going to grab Mars, and now they pushed too closer to me, you need to take a military card rather than discarding a military card. And so you discard a military card so they can't get it. That's 2 shields that they can't get. Or you build that 2 shields, and then now you've pushed even further closer to them. But yeah, so knowing how to use each of those Roman gods, especially that Neptune, because if you can see an opponent who doesn't know how to use Neptune, you just put the Neptune close to them, and then they'll discard the wrong conflict tokens, and it's hilarious every time. So, what is their order of cards in Age 1? So, I've been pretty open on my channel that mine is in Age 1, I go yellow, then green, then brown, then gray, then blue. Yeah, and as soon as I have 2 yellow, then I'll cool off on yellow and grab green over yellow. But I won't grab brown over yellow, ever. I won't grab gray over yellow, almost ever. And yeah, blue and red, yeah, definitely not going to be messing around with that. Yeah. All right, so with that, next, which expansion combination do they play with normally? Do they like Agora? Do they like just pure Pantheon? You can see what type of player they are, and maybe they are a 500 ranked ELO player, but they only play with Agora. So if you're playing him just expansion, don't lose hope. You can beat him. Also, do they know that first player trick that you can in those last 2 cards, you can use an extra turn if you're the first player. You can use an extra turn to take both of those cards. And if you take both those cards, then you're going to go first in the next round, unless you're winning in military. And that's why you don't have grab red cards in age 1, because you don't want to be winning in military. All right. And lastly, do they keep their money high or do they keep their money low? Because if they're keeping their money low, then you can definitely take advantage of that. With Pantheon, you're going to need those gold coins to grab. You want to start H2 with at least 8 coins, so that any gods that are out there other than the gate, you can grab. That's a hard fast rule. You need 8 coins going into H2. So if you've got an opponent who doesn't do that, just check them. Check their past games. And if they don't grab, don't do that, don't have 8 coins in age 2, you know that they did not watch this video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.